Hello, family. Welcome to Smart Hustle. Let's just jump right into this explainer. Today, we're putting on our financial therapist hats to break down the heavy, often hidden emotional cost of debt. We usually talk spreadsheets and interest rates, but right now, we need to uncover what's really happening beneath the surface.
So looking through that therapeutic lens, what happens when we realize debt actually costs us way more than just dollars and cents? We're so conditioned to think about debt purely mathematically, right? You borrow X, you pay back Y. But the truth is, the real cost is getting paid out of your mental and emotional bandwidth long before the bank charges you a single dime of interest.
And honestly, it makes total sense if you're feeling overwhelmed, because this financial pressure, it slowly, quietly erodes your peace, your confidence, your sleep, and even your daily decisions. These aren't just minor things, they're the pillars of your life. You know the feeling? Staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., completely exhausted, but you just can't shut your brain off because the numbers keep spinning.
Which brings us to a really fascinating psychological paradox. Why do so many of us feel completely trapped emotionally long before our bank accounts are actually empty? Well, our human brains are literally hardwired to detect threats. So in our modern world, a mounting credit card bill registers to your nervous system as a literal threat to your survival.
We call this the invisible weight of debt. It's an ever-present, underlying anxiety that just kind of colors everything you do. And it's totally invisible. You might be smiling, hanging out at a dinner party, but internally, you're dragging around a 100-pound backpack. It's heavy, it shortens your temper, and it just sits right on your chest.
Let's look at a typical journey, like someone we'll call Sarah. Now, in month 1, that invisible weight was so heavy for her that avoiding the mail was literally her only coping mechanism. She just shoved the bills in a drawer. But by month 3, she finally faced that budgeting anxiety head on. And look at month 6. She didn't magically pay off all her debt in 6 months, but she got real breathing room. The psychological shift happened way before the financial finish line.
Because when you've got bills waiting, payments approaching, and interest growing quietly in the background, it creates this constant hum of panic. It's like a dripping faucet in your brain that you can't turn off. You know the due dates are creeping up, and you know the interest is working against you while you sleep. It's not just an administrative task, it is a chronic, daily stressor.
And this quote right here really hits the nail on the head. Over time, that pressure follows people everywhere, mentally, even during moments that should feel peaceful. You could be at your kid's soccer game or out on a beautiful weekend walk, but you aren't really there, are you? Your mind is a million miles away, calculating how to cover next week's groceries. Debt is an absolute thief of the present moment. So the crucial takeaway here is that this financial stress actually rewires our behavior. We become anxious, highly emotionally reactive, overwhelmed, and just completely mentally exhausted. When you're carrying that kind of chronic stress, you're running on fumes. You might snap at your partner over absolutely nothing because all your cognitive energy is secretly burning in the background trying to manage that threat. And all of that builds up into what we call survival pressure. This is a psychological state where an increase in immediate stress makes long-term thinking and rational planning significantly harder. Basically, your brain goes straight into fight or flight mode. You literally lose the biological ability to plan 5 years out because your brain is convinced you just need to survive the next 5 minutes. Now here's the trap. Under all that survival pressure, your brain is absolutely begging for dopamine. So what do? We chase temporary comfort, we do some emotional spending, we buy something online, or we just completely avoid financial reality to feel normal for like an hour. But of course, that just deepens the cycle and creates even more long-term pressure. So by trying to avoid reality just to get a tiny bit of relief right now, debt becomes both financial and emotional at the exact same time. It's a vicious cycle. You feel bad about the debt, so you spend to feel better, which increases the debt, which makes you feel worse. You're bleeding from 2 places at once, your wallet and your mental health. But stay with me, because here is where we pivot to the solution. Awareness creates control. A core rule of financial therapy is that you cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. You have to stop avoiding financial reality. The moment you open that envelope or check the banking app, you actually start taking your power back. The monster in the closet is always scarier before you turn the light on. To help you break that cycle, this explainer highlights 3 incredibly simple daily exercises to lower your daily anxiety. Number 1, the 5-minute money check-in. Just peek at your accounts every morning with zero judgment to kill the fear of the unknown. Number 2, the pause spending rule. Force a 24-hour pause before any non-essential purchase. And number 3, gratitude grounding. Name 3 things you have right now that cost absolutely nothing to shift your brain out of scarcity mode.
Doing these small, consistent actions, planning, reducing pressure, improving your habits, and becoming disciplined is going to slowly but surely rebuild your stability. We aren't talking about the lottery here. We're talking about lowering the temperature day by day. Honestly, discipline isn't a punishment. It's literally the greatest form of self-care you can practice when you're financially stressed.
Because it is so vital to remember that financial freedom is not only about having money. Society loves to tell us that hitting a certain net worth magically solves everything. But I've seen people with millions of dollars who are paralyzed by anxiety, and folks with very little who are incredibly, truly free.
Real freedom is also about your peace, your mental clarity, your sense of control, and radically reduced stress. It's the clarity that comes from knowing you have a plan and you don't have to hide from your own life anymore. Once you get a handle on the emotional side of your money, the stress just naturally starts to fade away.
And I absolutely love this thought. Real financial progress should improve life emotionally too, not just financially. If you're paying down debt, but you're doing it in a way that wrecks your mental health, isolates you from your friends, and ruins your sleep, that is not real progress. Your strategies have to care for the whole you.
Because at the end of the day, your internal financial peace is sometimes just as valuable as outward financial success. Success is what the world sees, right? The car, the house, the vacation. But financial peace is what you feel when your head hits the pillow at night. And for sure, one of those is vastly more important for your long-term happiness. Now, I want to ask you something before we wrap up this explainer. Do you think financial stress affects mental health today? Let me know down in the comments. And in our next explainer, we're going to dive even deeper into exactly why financial stress changes behavior. Make sure you subscribe to Smart Hustle because financial peace is a journey we are all on together. See you next time.